Hello, guys, and welcome to Chelsea's Perspective. This is Matt, your temporary host, still here. Coachella is still on holiday, enjoying his vacation. And my God, he chose the wrong time to go on vacation because everything is happening right now. We're having here view goes everywhere. Coachella could have picked a better time to go on holiday, but I'm not complaining. It means I get to talk about news. Big up to everyone that is currently here, either on YouTube or on Twitter right now. Make sure you put your comments in. Obviously, for the Twitter people, I don't have access to the Twitter account, so I won't see the comments. But enjoy watching, and I'm sure Coachella will go through some of the responses if he's watching or is doing anything related to it, and he might have some replies. But obviously, YouTube comments will come straight to you. Obviously, Tobes coming in straight away. Big up to you. Osimhen soon. Well, I'm positive, but I'm not that positive at the moment. So I think that will take time, and that will probably go to the end of the window. But we have, as Nick Quo has said, Pedro Neto quality signing. Just quickly, the glasses is going to come on. We've signed top quality player. We haven't signed some Brazilian 18-year-old or some Argentinian or some guy from Belgium. This is Pedro Neto, proven player. A little bit injury prone. We'll get into that, but this is the kind of signing I've been waiting for. This is the type of signing that I don't want to be seeing Chelsea fans moaning on Twitter like they are. This is the time. This is a Chelsea signing. This is a great Chelsea signing, and Osimhen coming soon. The loading sign is currently on. Will that load or will it get stopped and we'll have to reload it next season? I don't know. But coming soon, Osimhen. Anyway, let's get into the news. So, got a Frogs, bye-bye Mudryk. I would prefer Sterling to go at the moment. I've said for a while, for a good year, I think Mudryk needs to go on loan. He could have the potential to be very good, but at the moment he needs game time. And at the moment, he's not going to get that consistent game time at Chelsea. And without that, he's not going to improve. So I don't care how much he costs. Send him out on loan to a decent side. It doesn't have to be... We're not talking about loans to the Championship or anything. We're talking about a decent Premier League side, even a European side. I mean, I think Europe, somewhere like Germany, Spain, potentially a European, like a Europa League team, Conference League team, Champions League team, wherever you can get him to go on loan, I think that will do him the world of good. And we'll be able, if he doesn't work, then we'll sell him for as much as we can and try and get as much money back. Or if he does really well, then look, we've got a great player. This is what we need to do, but I don't think the sporting directors have the bollocks to do that, or they don't want to get the criticism because the mainstream media will pour onto that because of the cost of the signing or whatever. But I mean, God of Frogs, PSV or that is two clubs hands down. I would let Mudryk go to. It would be the best move for him right now, but it's not going to happen because agendas from media and the owners, the sporting directors, and logically are not thinking this. But otherwise, I think because you've got to look at next season when you've got Paez coming in, you've got Messicino, Estavio, whatever, the other Brazilian bloke. And then you've also got Anjo Gabriel, who's likely to go out on loan, and another year of consistent football under his bracket is going to be looking much better coming in. So these players have got to, like Madueke and Mudryk are on their final seasons of, if they don't perform to the standards they need to be, they're gone next season. Madueke obviously is very easy to sell, so I think that might happen either way. That might be another one of, let's get some more money in, guys, then we can go and further invest it. Because he was only 23 million in the first place. You should be able to sell him for at least that, if not more. But Mudryk is obviously... I think Mudryk was one that was supposed to work, and it just hasn't worked at the moment. So I don't know what they do. For me, I would I'd sell Sterling, loan Mudryk, but it's not going to happen. I don't think I don't think either would happen unless a Saudi club comes in, gives Sterling some ridiculous amount of money, and we get sorted. But enough of kind of Mudryk Sterling. Let's go into Shanks. It's more Mudryk selling to Arsenal. And no, I'm not going to sell him to Arsenal because knowing that it will turn out good. And then we'll all be whining about it. But I mean, everyone seems Neto's come in and Mudryk is bye-bye. So, I mean, I would say goodbye. My opinion is buy Sterling. Not so much buy Mudryk. Yeah, Mudryk is on he's hanging by that thread. Is that thread going to break or is he going to be able to climb up? I don't know. But let's get into it. Neto, Pedro Neto. I mean, this is a player. I know he didn't have the best of seasons last year, and this is injury. Is his injuries that are the big concern, and obviously with Chelsea being an injury-prone club, doesn't exactly fill the world with a lot of joy. But I do think as you get older, you either get out of this injury proneness or you don't. I'm hoping that he can, and bearing in mind the amount of quality and depth we were now going to have out wide. You've got Nkuku that can play on the left or the middle. You've got Madueke and Palmer, I think, on the right will be that right-hand side. So I think Neto will be on the left. Nkuku can play on the left. Sterling and Mudryk, obviously, will be shifted there on the left as well. If Osimhen then comes in, you've got Jackson who can also play on the left. You've got Mr. Omicron virus. That's what Samu. He's going to be called Samu from now. Samu, you're going to have Jackson. You're going to have potentially Osimhen. There's going to be bundles of players up there up top. So there's quality now. So even if Neto does get injured, you've got options. Now we have options. Before, you'd have players get injured and suddenly it was just Palmer and Sterling or Palmer and Mudryk, and it wasn't enough. But now we've got more quality and more depth, and it's not depth for the sake of depth, it's actual quality depth. So this is I think this is a great sign. I mean, the what I love about this is how it absolutely came out of nowhere. Not heard a single. I mean, we've been linked with Neto before, so it's not like it's a signing we've never seen him being linked. He's been linked in previous windows, but never really seriously. But you've not heard anything, and then suddenly, boom, it's done. It's like, what? I mean, I love it. It's like transfers in the old days before Fabrizio came in and ruined it and gave us every bloody detail of what's our new signing going to be eating for his next meal. That's the kind of information we get. That's why it makes transfers a bit boring. But now we got nothing, and suddenly, boom, and it's great because I've got a great conversation to talk on a video. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. He's exciting. I think in terms of this system, I think he would fit a Maresca type system. I think he would do very well. I mean, Manchester City have been linked to them in the past, so that kind of proves the aspect of he's a player that's been linked with this type of model and thinks of it. He's a very good dribbler of the ball. He's almost a bit like Madueke on the other side. Madueke's very good at dribbling, although I think Neto's end product generally is better. Last season wasn't as good, but I think he had a few injuries. And people say, oh, he's played 20 games, but how many minutes did you play in them 20 games? It's like it's not consistent minutes, and he had problems. So I think last season was last season. It's not great, but you've got other seasons where I mean, I remember it was one of the games we played against Wolves, and we got destroyed. I mean, we get destroyed by Wolves most seasons. But Neto was the guy that just completely took us apart. Was absolutely fantastic. I mean, Mudryk to Ajax, again, great loan. But yeah, Neto, absolutely. I can understand people being hesitant about the injuries, but I think Neto, it's a great move. It's nothing. I mean, he's 24, so he's even that Clear Lake nearly even broke their under 25 rule to get this guy in. It was very close, so close. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this signing. And for me, if people were just complaining about it, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want to sign Mbappe? Oh, no, he's already gone. Do you want to sign? I mean, you want to sign Osimhen, of course, I know, but Chelsea are being linked to that move, so it still could happen. So keep calm, wait, patience. I know this fan base don't have patience, but there you go. It's a good sign. It's a very good sign. And the price I don't think is nearly as. I don't think it's bad. I think it's bad for a player that's been in the Premier League for a while. It's from another Premier League team, which are always expensive. Just look at Tottenham signing Dominic Solanke for £65 million, a player that did well last season, got a good goal tally, but has not done anywhere near them numbers in any other season. I think it's ludicrous. I mean, the fact I would not be paying 65 million for Solanke whatsoever. So that is Tottenham absolutely blitzing any money they had down the drain. But I think this deal is pretty good. It works. I think it fits. It's exactly what we need. He can play both right and left. Fits. I think he fits the system quite well. And I think it's fantastic. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Let's see what you guys in the comments say. People forget Paul Trid. I guess that's Mudryk. Whoever was allocated more minutes than Noni last season. Noni Sapa. Yeah, I mean, Noni I felt deserved more minutes. I think at the start he was very much not he wasn't interested. Obviously, he had his little clubbing moment, which meant he was phased out for a while and didn't really come into it till January. So I think Noni was part of his own downfall last season of why he didn't get enough minutes. But if he got the whole season, he might have been a bit more consistent. But again, you just don't go out clubbing. You're a footballer. Just enjoy life, have a nice peaceful life, and then when you retire, do whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, I get your point though. God of Frogs. I just like one or two less youth signings and more focus on the fixing the absolute drizzling shits of us. I mean, there's a couple. I mean, Louis and Lewis has also said about defensive. Look, realistically, centre back wise, I don't think we're going to bring anyone else in because most of these signings are new. I think you'd have to get rid of. I mean, we already have to get rid of Chalobah just to make the defence just a normal number of players. I mean, you could get. I think that the only player you could potentially look that could leave is Badiashile, potentially because there's been rumours. But I just don't see us getting another centre back personally. And I think the defence. Not all of them centre backs are terrible centre backs. That the way they are playing now are absolutely not what their quality is. But I do think Pochettino's system last season was just didn't help the defence at all. And obviously we've gone over the aspect of Maresca saying that we're playing too much a high line. It's a bit of a habit. I do think these players will get better. I mean, look at Badiashile in his first 6 months under Potter, who was a shit manager in general. Badiashile was good in that first 6 months. Obviously, had the groin injury, come back, wasn't very good. But name me a centre back that was good last season. I mean, people say Chalobah wasn't that great last season. He was not dreadful, but arguably proves my point even more. He was the one that was least exposed to the Poch system in terms of defence. Is there a surprise that he's been doing the best because he's not integrated into the system as much as the others? I do think the centre backs, the defence will get better over time. And I do think we just need to figure out as well, because obviously in pre-season like it is, we've played with about 1 billion different centre back pairings. The centre backs we need to figure out who's our best centre backs and stick with it. I do think eventually it will be Fofana and one other. Whether it depends on who can sort themselves out, Cole or Badiashile, because that left side centre back is the area where I think is a bit weak because both of them just don't look very good at the moment. But obviously Fofana is getting over his own injury problem, which is going to take him time. So I think Tosin will start on that right side at the moment, and then eventually I think Fofana will prove his performances in the smaller games and eventually maybe win that place back. But we need a stable defence and we need a system that fits. And I guarantee we will get better performances out of some of these players. And then you guys might rethink. We might still need a centre-back. And we still might need a centre-back to improve further. But I don't think we necessarily need to rush into spending 80 million on Euro or something silly like that. Because I don't see that. Defenders, there's not many good defenders nowadays. Defenders are getting less and less in quality. I think they're not as good as they used to be. So I think we need to just be a bit stick with what we got right now. Try and improve with what we've got. Because sometimes you've got to just work with what you've got. These players, as I said, the performance of these centre backs now is not not the best that they've got. This is not their highest ceiling. This is them at their lowest. So let's get them up to kind of at least 60-70% there and see how they are. If they're still not very good enough, then that's fine. We'll go get more centre backs in eventually next season, next summer, when hopefully the attack is sorted and we don't need to focus on that and we can just focus on defence. And also having a stable goalkeeper will also help the back four massively. But let's just try and get some consistency in this defence. Work with what we've got and then see how it goes. And I guarantee you guys will get some improvement in that defence. Whether it's enough is another question. I'm not debating that, but I think we will get a bit more improvement. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's go through some more comments. I can see a lot of comments about our centre-backs being crap. Guys, just to let you know, obviously, Coach Schiller let me know this before I started doing the hosting. Can we please keep any sort of profanity to a minimum, especially when regarding to players? It's fine to criticise a player, but just can we keep the profanity to a low? Because we don't want to be abusing and hating on players or anyone in the comments. Just be peaceful, civil, and work with it. Okay. More and more. We just signed the Argentinian kid. I think Cole or Badish. Yeah, Badiashile, I think potentially leave next season if he doesn't do very well. I think they'll keep Cole for now. I don't think he'll leave unless he just really is just dreadful. But we'll wait and see. Badiashile, worst defender. Let's just wait. Time. Thoughts on what Frank the Beef? I assume he Frank the Beef Minerals said. I think he watched Minerals. I've seen snippets of it. I mean, I think with ex-players, you get some that are very much with the club and some that are very much not with the club at the moment. And you can tell by how certain players comment how it is. He's got his opinion. I think he's wrong on most of the things he says, and I don't think it helps the toxicity in the fan base. I think it's fine to be critical, and I was very, to prove the point, I was very critical of the Marina Granovskaya era and some of the things that we did there. But I think just being toxic for the sake of being toxic does not help anyone. It doesn't, because especially with owners, because owners are not going to go unless they want to go. I can't name one owner that has left because fans have told him to go, unless they were in deep financial trouble. Can't think of one. Obviously, Roman sanctions is a completely different story. But you've just got to be, oh God, Carlito, my co-host on Blue Code Project podcast. Make sure you go check us out. He is a fraud. He's a jabroni. I did say no profanity, but Carlito deserves that. For me, it's not toxic. Sending a message for what's to come. I mean, yeah, fair, but I would argue it's scaremongering at points, but we'll see. We'll see if he's right. If he's right, fair enough. But if he's wrong, then I will make a big comment of whether he's wrong or not. And yeah, that's it. The Prince, big up coach, big up house. How I wish Chelsea can tempt Villa. Well, since Carlito's, Carlito probably entered because you made that comment because he loves Ollie Watkins. But yeah, if Dominic Solanke is worth £65 million, God knows what Watkins would cost. I think you would be finding a cheaper fee of Osimhen. Not going to lie. You would be having to pay 100 million plus because Aston Villa are not going to let him go for cheap, especially not. Glazers sold their shares after fans protested after the game. No, yeah, they sold their shares, but they still own the club. They've just found a way to get a bunch of money for the club, not have to invest as much, and calm. And if they're still in charge, they're not left. If they sold the whole thing, because people say, "Oh, Ratcliffe will take it eventually." Ratcliffe doesn't have the money, physical money, to actually be able to buy the rest of the club. Yeah, but they're not in 100. They don't mind that. They rather just take the money and not have to control it as much. I don't think Ratcliffe is going to be much better for United. I mean, spending spunking 80 million on Lenny Yoro, who's now just got injured for 3 months, is exactly the type of Man United stuff that they've done in the last few years. I don't know. Yeah. Yikes! 65 million. That's how much Spurs paid. Yeah. So that it's stuff like this is what people wonder why the market gets inflated. It's stuff like this that inflates it. Just when I actually thought this season was nice. I liked it because it seemed like it does predominantly seems like that clubs are realizing that everyone's paying a bit crazy fees at the moment. So let's just calm this down and just spend within our means. And then Spurs go and do this. And it just puts the whole cycle around again. But it is what it is. Let's move on from Neto because we've spent for nearly 20 minutes on Neto. We have another signing, although he will not be here. Mike Penders, goalkeeper. We are Goalkeeper FC at the moment. We have 9 goalkeepers, although Eddie Beach has gone out on loan to Crawley, so that's 1 goalkeeper out the door. I don't count Bettinelli also as a goalkeeper because he's never played, so he's never going to play. He's just going to sit there and earn a wage. He's basically a goalkeeper coach to me, really, rather than an actual goalkeeper, but there you go. But yes, Mike Penders from Genk. It's hilarious because Genk, my girlfriend, she's from Belgium. Watch a lot of Belgian football myself. Follow generally Club Brugge in Belgium. But Genk, they've just sold their first choice goalkeeper to, I think he's gone to Leipzig. And this is the second choice goalkeeper. So he didn't really play too much. They have their B team in the second division of the Belgian league. He played a lot there. Played some games for Genk as well. He's a decent goalkeeper and came in and was expected to be. Obviously, he's gone back on loan this season, so he still will play. But he's a decent goalkeeper. I do like him, but why are we spending so much money on goalkeepers, guys? Like do they realise? And this is where I'll criticise it. Do they realise we can only play 1 goalkeeper at a time? It's not like centre backs where you can have about 6 or 7 centre backs. You can't have this many goalkeepers. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, he's not going to be here for another year, so it's another one of these Paez, Estavios. We're not going to see him until next season, but it's another amount of money spent on a goalkeeper. Hopefully, it can be good. I mean, the Belgium league, to be fair, is a very good area, a very good place to pick out young talent. Not all of them work, of course. Sambi Lokonga didn't make the step up, but everywhere you have that risk. But there's a lot of talent that you can get from Belgium. They're very good at the whole league is based on developing young talent through, particularly young Belgian talent, but you get a lot of African players go through the Belgian league. A lot of other players choose to go through the Belgian league. and you can get some good players for not too bad prices there. So I do think this is a market where, especially if multi-club model, Chelsea want to buy another club, Belgium, I would definitely say, is a good place. But anyway, Mike Penders signed, gone out on loan. Eddie Beach has gone out on loan to League Two side Crawley. So he'll get some time there. I don't know what. I mean, I've never seen this guy play, so I don't know how good he is. But we signed him like last year or the other year. Obviously, we've still got about 8 goalkeepers left. Kepa, I think, will be sold. I think Bergstrom will probably also be sold, just because I don't think we can afford to loan him, because he's another international loan. I think Stalina will go out on loan somewhere. Bettinelli will just be as coach, as I said. And then I think Petrovic. Petrovic, that's another rumour. Petrovic could be going to Strasbourg. I don't know. I keep reading it and can't find whether it's actually a loan or permanent to Strasbourg. Be interesting to see. I mean, I wouldn't mind selling him for similar price if he got to Strasbourg, because I think he'd fit Strasbourg, and if he does really good, buy him back. Keep the money laundering process going. Shh, didn't say that. Said the quiet part out loud. Yes, God of Frogs is right. Last goalkeeper we got, it wasn't too bad if you ignore the snake. Yes, he. Don't get me started with Belgian players being snakes, but yeah, you're correct there. I'm not. I've seen they've already compared him to Courtois, and I'm not going to compare him to Courtois. I'm not going to do that. Please, no, stop this. Yes, but I understand it's the same club, so let's just not. Let's just calm the brakes. Calm the brakes. Again, Benoit is the worst he's seen. We have so many players. I think they will be shit. I think we. Yes, I know. I remember Kepa. Kepa will have to go at some point, but it's going to be easier said than done. With so many players, we really need to. I do think next week you'll start really seeing the ball moving for players going. I mean, you've already seen a couple go already to this week, and I think you will see more. I think you'll see Armando Broja's future being mentioned. Does Genk have another? I'll just say I'll answer this quickly. No, not really. No, no. I mean, actually, there's probably not up the Borina really in the league at all. There was a very young guy Anderlecht called Jari Vizcaran. Looked like a really good talent, and then done his ACL, as you do when you're a young player and you're very promising. So obviously we'll see. He's come back now. He's obviously slowly getting back, but we'll see how he goes. But yeah, I don't know how long it will take, but we'll see. But yeah, there's no other real KDB regen that we can get. Sorry. There is a Lukaku, Kevin Denke, very potentially could be very good. I don't know when he'll move from there, but if he makes the step up, probably to like Liga or something like that, and plays really well, I think he will be the next big striker potentially. But we'll have to wait and see. Let's just stop talking about Belgian football. But anyway, shipping players out. I think you'll see Broja's future be more talked about next season. As indefinite is too bloated, but it will get sorted out. I mean, if I look through the 42 player list, I can point out myself who's going to go where, and probably roughly where they will go. I don't think it takes too much. I think there's players that have specifically been halted because they've obviously players like Santos. They've played in the preseason. They want to see them perform first. I think Angelo Gabriel was an exact example. I think he will go somewhere. Again, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure who yet, but I think these players will go. I don't think there's too many that massively that need to be shipped off sold wide. And don't forget, some of these players will just play in the under-21s for now. Whether I do think some players like David Washington, who were playing, I think need to go out on loan. I think they've played 1 year already. But I think other than that, I think there's players that will go back. Like Achapong. I think he'll go back into the setup if he doesn't go somewhere else. I mean, he's even been linked with other clubs regarding his future. We got the Frogs. Broja, yeah, I've mentioned him already. Dacha Fofana, we've already had the rumour that he could be going to Leicester on loan with an obligation to buy. So that could be sorted. Lukaku, obviously, is tied to the Osimhen thing. So we're going to have, that's going to be a train to wait for a while. Don't expect that to get sorted soon. Kepa, again, that's going to take a while, and we have to figure out somewhere for him to go. We might not be able to get. He might be the one you can't get. Chilwell's not going to leave. Let's get this sorted. Then, just because Chilwell might be dropped as captain, that does not mean. And Enzo, I find with some managers they do like to have multiple vice captains. So Chilwell might still be vice captain, but every manager changes their captain. Reece might not. There might be a chance that he takes the whole armband off Reece in general, but it probably won't because you want to keep it settled. But Chilwell might not have the armband, but that doesn't mean he's going to be sold. It just means he thinks there's a different character that would be better suited to be vice captain, which is fine. I think that's not a problem. It doesn't mean that they'll sell Ben. Ben might be a bit annoyed, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think the squad you'll see in the next 2 weeks players go, and it might be very quietly just like, oh yeah, they're gone by the way, and there will be some players that will be put back into the youth setup, and there'll be some players that stick in the team. I think we'll have a good sized team. I do think we'll have 26 to 27 players, so we'll have more bigger squads than potentially usual. But with a Europa Conference campaign, I think there will be players that won't play necessarily in the league, but will play in the Conference League. And there might be some that are further slimmed down in January. Depends on how the season goes. Indefinite. Let's see what your comment is. Tell me this sounds like a recipe for success. A new manager, coach in a new league and no European experience trains an over-bloated squad with a relegation level. What could go wrong? I mean, no. I mean, I've made my point clear of I wasn't a big fan of Maresca coming in, but we've just got to be behind. We've got to give him enough time to figure a speech, hang himself, or smash it and do really well. We can't just be calling him out in pre-season, especially because this system is unlike any. This is Sarri system times 10, and look how long it took us to get sorted to the Sarri system. It's going to take a little bit of time in the early few weeks and months. It's just about getting enough results that we can therefore get somewhere towards the end of the season where we want to be. Let's see what else anyone's saying. KDB is a crazy talent. Well, as I said, KDB wanted to leave, and we had a lot of talent at that time. Arguably, we trusted the wrong talent in terms of the future, but it is what it is. When you have lots of good players, you'll ultimately lose one that was good. It is what it is. Every club has it, and every club will. Cool. Any other comments? Big up to everyone that's watching. 165 people in the house. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's been a great show tonight so far, and obviously you guys are smashing it in terms of the comments. There's been lots of good, knowledgeable comments. Sometimes I'm watching YouTube comments and I'm like, oh my god, like, can we add some brain cells to this comment chat? But you guys are absolutely brilliant, asking a lot of good questions. I've said some of you got a frogs have seen before on other channels, and you're great. Sinaf, big up. Worldwide Shelves. He's in the comments all the time on Worldwide Shelf, so big up to him. Big up to you. Long time since I've seen your face on the host. Yes, I haven't. I mean, this is the first time I've been on. I feel like Worldwide. Big up Melina. I feel like the whole Worldwide Shelf has just suddenly come to here. That's fine. Sadiq clearly isn't streaming at the moment, but yeah, I haven't been on YouTube for separate reasons. Nothing. No personal, no beef or anything. It's just had to take a little bit of a different route. Be obviously doing the podcast, Blue Co Project podcast. Check it out once you finish this, not now. Great podcast with Carlito Jesters and a few others. We will need Melina. We do want you on at some point. Matt will take over, yes, only for 1 week only. So enjoy this for now while you've got it, because you might not ever get it again. Coachella might watch this and go, "Nope, that's it. You've had enough." But yeah, let's just see. This might come more often. You never know. We'll see. We'll see what the coach thinks. Right, everyone's just talking to each other. Big up. Let's have a look. Indefinite. Lampard asked back with most elite talents in Europe. We are buying every single Brazilian teenager in existence. That's huge stuff. But let me get this talk. Let me get this started about the Brazilian talent. Now, we are doing it on steroids at the moment, which I understand is frustrating. But Real Madrid for the last few years have been buying Brazilian talents, plucking the best talent out. And if you look at their team now, they had a front three. Two of them were big Brazilian talents of Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo. They got on fairly cheap prices and built themselves. So there is an aspect that I can see why this ownership have looked and gone. Brazil is a market where a lot of talents get made, a lot of duds get made, and a lot of people don't make it. But a lot of talents do get made out of Brazil. So I can understand why they're looking at that and trying to take advantage of that market. Because Real Madrid have had hold of that market and Barcelona for a while. That's why Barcelona got Neymar. Real Madrid have got Vinicius Junior. They've got Endrick. Barcelona got Victor Roque. Obviously, them two haven't worked yet, but give it time. They're young players. They might work. That's why we're trying to... I can understand why we're doing this. Again, I think the key word that we talk about is the balance, and maybe the balance is a bit too much towards the side we don't want. But again, I remember 4, 5, 6 years ago when fans were moaning that we weren't plucking talents out of nowhere. We are now, and now we're not moaning the other way. So it is all about balance, and fans are a little bit fickle at times, and it's fine because people are fickle. It's the human race, and you can't change it. God of Frogs, I'll change my tone with this window if they sign 1 or 2 more signings. Nothing more really needed for the midfield. Definitely striker and a left centre. I think you might get that striker. I don't think you'll get that left centre back. But for me, I don't. If we get Osimhen and no one else, I have no problem with this window because I think that. You've got Toast. I think Tosin improves the defence in the fact that if you think about last season, the majority of our goals that we conceded were from set pieces and crosses. So bringing a big, tall dude that can head the ball in that defence is going to improve that defence. Obviously, we've got separate issues now with the system, but hopefully they will iron out eventually. You've got Dewsbury Hall coming in, who I don't think he necessarily starts all the time. He might start certain games depending on the system, depending on the opponent. But I think he effectively replaces Conor Gallagher, but in a slightly different way. He still has the qualities of Conor Gallagher where he runs about and works hard with the ball. The typical Conor Gallagher stuff that everyone loves and raves about. Maybe not to the exact quality, but he makes up with it with his technical ability. And I think this is the difference. It's also someone that knows the Maresca system and helps with the transition of that system. Again, it's depth in that midfield. Our midfield is stacked with quality now, which is good. It's not just stacked with players, it's stacked with quality. And again, I think this is where we're looking at for the attack now. Defence, obviously, we'll see how these players do. We've mentioned that for a while. But I don't think it's a bad window. And obviously, Gustavio, that's the next season talent, so I'm not thinking about it. The same with the Argentinian centre-back. Goalkeeper, Jorgensen, everyone's been moaning about Sanchez, so we've got a goalkeeper in. Is he good enough? I don't know. But I've always said I don't want to be spending ridiculous money. I don't want to be spending 75 million on Diogo Costa, who I don't know if he even improves at it. Goalkeepers, I don't like to spend a lot of money on. So if Jorgensen is truly very good on the ball and is a decent stopper, I think that's all we need. That's all we need. I don't think we need to just have this brilliant world-class goalkeeper that costs 100 million. It's fine. It's not the most important position in the world. So I think our window has been okay, not spectacular, but it has improved areas that we needed to improve. Neto adds a bit of quality into that attack, which is good. This is almost like the Elise type signing that we needed and we missed out on, rightly because he'd asked for ridiculous wages. That if we can get Osimhen up front with Samu, who also provides again that more depth, then I think we have a team that should be challenging for Champions League and then building on to challenge further. How much further is another question, and that might need a few more signings, a few more cherry on top. But we are built. I think we are trying to build something. Whether it will work is another question, and obviously we can all have our opinions on that. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see how it goes. A little bit of just not just I will say patience for the sake of patience, but just a little bit of time just to let this system bed in. Big up to the viewership. It's going up and up and up. 191 people now watching. Let's try and get that to 200. And everyone smash the like button because, you know, it's free. You don't need to do anything. It's just one click and it helps the channel out so much. And it will get more of these beautiful, intelligent people in live chat to ask me questions. Big up Nehemiah Fawal. Big up to you. It's madness, I swear. Pedro Neto to Chelsea to hold that to rival fans. Exactly. I mean, it was brilliant. And now rival fans are going, oh, Chelsea spending too much money again. And I'm going to bring my glasses out. I love it when rival fans are moaning about us spending too much money. Like, yeah, go on. Just keep doing it. Keep crying. We'll take them tears. We'll take them right here. Let me get my other drink. Let me get my alcoholic drink. Rival fan tears, right there. Perfect. In my own Jack Daniels glass. Big up. My biggest critique is far too many young lads being signed for us to get them the following year. It's a gamble, and I hope. Yeah, it is a gamble. It is a gamble. They're throwing the roulette wheel at the moment with young signers. Some will work, some won't. And I hope the good thing is I don't think they're spending ridiculous money on most of these, apart from the ones that I think they will make. So I think even if they don't work, PSR wise, I think they're sellable, that we can get them off the books without much loss. That and KDH, unsure why we went for him over a Matt. I don't really rate that Matt O'Reilly. I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, I think the thing Kieran Dewsbury Hall's he knows the system, and I think it's important to get. It's almost like how Jorginho came in with Sarri. It's someone that knows the system and can kind of translate that to the players a little bit more. And Kieran Dewsbury Hall's also played in the Premier League. Matt O'Reilly hasn't, as far as I'm aware. I don't think he has. Scottish League is also Celtic would not do well in the Championship. So I can tell you that right now. They had the Championship budget and they had the Championship. If they were in the Championship and getting Championship sponsor money, Celtic would not be where they are now. And they wouldn't be mid-table and Premier in Championship. And they're very average at best. And they're running away with the Scottish League. So it sums up the Scottish League for you. I think Brozier will leave soon. I agree. Dacho, Chile. I don't think Chilwell will leave as much as some people want. Cassidy, it's a funny one. I think they're very much and ahhing with Cassidy at the moment, whether they want to loan him or sell him. Last I heard was Fiorentina were interested. Whether that will happen or not is another question, and whether that's a loan or I think they're open to both, depending on the fee that people are willing to pay for him. Leslie, I think, will go out on loan. Next week we'll start cutting the squad quite quickly. I feel sorry for Angelo. We have to sell Sterling. Yeah, I mean, Andrea Gabriel, I think he had a good loan at Strasbourg. Took a little bit of time to get into it, but had a good bloody flies everywhere. Had a good loan at Strasbourg, and I think Strasbourg is now, for me, it's above Angelo. So I think this is where he needs to move. We'll talk about Dortmund, PSV, etc. for Mudryk. Same Angelo thing. Go to one of these bigger clubs in Europe, prove yourself in Europe, and then next season I think he can get a much bigger, much bigger chance of being on the Chelsea side. At the moment, it's slim, and I think if Sterling doesn't do well, I think he leaves next summer. So maybe it's good for Angelo to go out on loan, come back with more pedigree on you, and then come in and go, well, yeah, you're selling Sterling. You don't need to go get another right winger because you've got me. That's how I would look at it. And some of these young players need to take these loan moves by the scruff of the neck and really prove themselves. They can't just go out and have an okay loan season. They need to smash it because that's what happens with a big club. You have to smash your loan spells to get into this club. Big players have done very well on loan spells and still not made it to this club, and have still got sold. Angela needs to smash it to get into this side, and that's what I need from next season. I need more, and I think he will. I like him. I think we will get more out of him. I think he just needs to go to the right move and get the right amount of game time. Big up to Nightbot, God of Robs. Reminds me of Mount. Yeah, I know you just stay. I know you do not like Mount. I know that. Yes, I know. Let's wait and see on Kieran Duby Hall. Let's see. I mean, I think he will be okay. I'm not going to make the comparison to Mount. So what is the success rate of transfers under Clear Lake? The only transfers that have been successful thus far are Palmer, Enzo, Gusto, Petro to me, Lavia and Nkuku, potentially 6 out of 37. Well, obviously, successes of transfers when you're sitting in a position is obviously going to make that difference. But I think I think it's hard to judge some of them transfers because some of these players have gone out on loan. I mean, if we're judging them on loan spells, I would fully put Angelo Gabriel into that successful or potentially. I think there's a fair few you could put in the potential bracket. So I think bearing in mind some of these players are. I mean, I can tell you the signings that have not worked quite easily. And I think you do have to separate a little bit what was done in the first year, to which was not sporting director controlled, and what was done in the net after that, which is when the sporting directors have come in. The sporting director stuff has worked a lot more than when the owners were almost just relying on themselves, which they shouldn't have done. But, Marina wanted just to run off with some money and not bother. Which is typical Marine, as much as what people say. Just seeing the Selena goal loan. Have I missed? I haven't been looking at my phone, so I assume that means he's gone out on loan somewhere. Let me just have a look. Selena. I can't see anything. Guys, put in the comment section if he has gone somewhere. I can't see it at the moment, but I've just seen it. Yeah, Barnsley. I think he's better than Barnsley, but it's fine. That's another goalkeeper gone. That's another. We're getting down into slightly better territory. In terms of Mark Gee is a better presser. I mean, I haven't seen Samu play yet in Chelsea shirt, so I'm not going to judge that. Gui, I think will go out on loan anyway, especially if we get Osimhen. But don't forget, Gui was a £6 million opportunistic move. He's a baby and he's got time to grow, so don't judge him as the finished product now. I haven't seen the Olympics at all, so okay. I don't know if you know what the squads are, but yeah, there you go. What do you think of some of our fans calling us? They're not fans of the club if they want us to be sanctioned. Like, I don't get how. I mean, it was the sanctions that nearly destroyed us as a club. I don't think people understand how close we were to not being able to get a footballing license, which means you don't run as a football club, you die. You go down to the bottom divisions. It is extremely deplorable. We said we don't agree with profanity, but that is obviously deplorable. It's the definition of deplorable. So, if any of you think that, I'm sorry, but it is. I mean, change your opinion. 16th. I mean, we can go through. If next week we've got a quiet stream, indefinite, we will go through. I'll go through that one by one. We'll have all the players, and I'll put my opinion of what I think, who I think's been a success, who I think potentially is a success, who hasn't, but I believe can. I'll make a little tier list of success, potential, hasn't met the mark yet, but still I think can get up into them levels, and who's just been crap. And we can see how it goes. Chelsea should sell Badia Shields, not needed. We've had that a few times. I don't think it will happen this season, maybe next. They should sell Sterling, but it won't happen. Jackson isn't. If anyone's calling Jackson not a success when he scored 14 goals in his Premier League goals in his first year and should have scored more, then I don't know what to say. Angelo should be loaned to an English club to gain experience. I think English or a good European club. So someone that's got, if he's playing European football as in Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, that is the plus for me. Otherwise, English club, Premier League, maybe a high Championship club. But the problem is, if you're playing in the Championship, the argument will be next season is, does he have enough? Can he do it in the Premier League? So, yeah, we'll wait and see for Angelo. I think that will happen a bit later on the window. Unlikely getting Osimhen. Besides, I mean, we'll see about Osimhen. It's going to take a lot of compensating by everyone. I think Chelsea will try it to the end, but I don't know. I mean, the fact that they need to get rid of Lukaku, and that's where Lukaku potentially will go, is a reason to keep into it. I'm not a fan of the potential Osimhen move. That's fair. I mean, I've heard people say the same. I've heard there's a lot of people that have said the same. Bobby, do you know what, Bobby? I was surprised. I sent the link to myself because this iPad is very annoying, and I realised I forgot to send it in the chat. Bobby, I will send it in the matter of 4 seconds' time. Join if you can, or anyone that joins. I wondered why no one was joining, and that is all my own fault. It's a good job I can ramble for an hour. Greetings to Siaka from South Africa. Big up to everyone. 2,275 people in the stream right now. Quickly, just jot down where you're coming from. I want to see what areas of the world we are connecting to, because it's always lovely to see where people are in the planet. Bobby, I sent the link now, so if you want to join, feel free. Chalobah must stay. He is the only experienced player in our back line, or we should go for Mats Hummels. He is free. The problem is, a lot of people have been talking about Mats Hummels, and he's a good player. I just don't think it's wise to bring in someone in their mid-30s into the Premier League when they've never played it before. It's a very different league, the Bundesliga and the Premier League, especially the fact that he's never played outside the Bundesliga. I just think it's a more risky move than you think. Chalobah, our best centre back, being sold for profit. I argue on form he's not our best centre back, but last season he probably was one of our better centre backs. But yeah, what's this topic about? I mean, at the moment we've just been rambling with the comments. It's changed every minute. At the moment we've just gone through Neto and Sells, Penders. We've gone through De Bruyne, the next De Bruyne in Belgium, thanks to God of Frogs. And now we were talking about predominantly Sales, Slinger going to Barnsley. That has been confirmed. And just talking about just general Chelsea at the moment. We're mixing it up a little bit. The schedule has gone out the window, but that's because you guys in the comment sections have been absolutely brilliant with lots of good questions. Eventually, we will do an Inter Milan preview, probably when some other people join on the panel. We'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end. But this has been fantastic stream so far, and there will be more to go. Big up to everyone that is in the live stream now. Again, make sure you smash the like button. Beautiful game. I've been waiting for you to come on. Big up to you. Big up, coach. Why you look so pale? No comment. No comment. I do not want to make a comment that might be taken the wrong way. But yeah, coach is on holiday. I am taking over. Coach has definitely better hosting skills than me, but you guys just have to put up with that. Is what it is. I'd sell Leslie and Carney to bring in Osimhen. I don't. The thing is, I don't think selling them is going to make much of a difference. I think the problem is wage, and that's the problem. I don't think selling these players will help. It's just the wage structure in general, and it's getting that wage that Osimhen has down. The fact that PSG and Saudi will not pay his wage shows that his wage is a bit crazy, and I think there will come to a point where Osimhen realizes if I want to leave Napoli and actually do something, I need to compensate myself. But we'll see whether he has that or decides to just want to make money. Indefinite, I'd be interested to see that. Still of the opinion that Jackson at the left wing, and that's where he played at Bredora. But yeah, I've said this in streams here. I've said that in streams, podcast before. And I think if Osimhen comes in, that might be where he plays. Despite what Maresca said, I think Maresca's playing a little bit of mind games with that. The only problem in the squad is our central defenders. Jackson attack, I think he'll improve. I like him, very good. Yeah, I mean, as I said earlier in the stream, I've mentioned the defence. If anyone wants to rewind back later towards the first 15, the first 10 minutes of it actually being on the stream rather than the countdown. I spoke in length about how I think the defence will improve with system, and then we'll see how good some of these defenders are. Big up, beautiful game, makes you stay on. Big up to you. The only thing we needed this transfer window was a clinical striker and elite centre-back to take Thiago's place. The rest was a matter of luxury. I feel we ended up with neither and Neto. I disagree. Purely the fact that every man, woman, and dog wanted a left back, a goalkeeper, a striker, and a winger, and the centre back. I mean, I'd argue the centre midfield was a luxury, but we lost Gallagher, so that's just a swap, effectively. We've arguably got a centre back in. It's not necessarily elite, but to get Tosin on a free and the fact that his qualities that he has suits what our weakness was last season, I do not mind at all. Again, clinical striker. How many times? There's not many clinical strikers out there. Let's be honest. Haaland is. I'm not going to accept anything other than Haaland is not a clinical striker. He gets lots of chances. He misses a few, but also scores a lot. It's about creating them chances for the striker, and then having enough clinicalness to be able to take enough of them chances, which is what some of the other guys do. I just think we need to connect with our strikers that we buy a bit better. Big up to the legends on the channel. According to my contacts, we are still concerned about our defence. We'll see on that. Don't think Chelsea need Osimhen. Jackson will improve. Some people have said that, but some people I mean, if you talk to Tiger Beast on here, he wants Osimhen really bad. But Bobby is kind of, and others have kind of said that they don't mind. They're not too bothered with it. Beautiful game. You may have covered this already, but I'm gassed that we've weakened Wolves for the second game of the season and bagged Neto. I did say about Neto giving us hell. I didn't say we had technically weak. I didn't actually mention that. So you made a good point, extra point. But I did say that Neto was fantastic against us when I was discussing Neto. But yes, thank you for that beautiful game. Greetings to beautiful game. Great mod. Great person. Good. Jackson is a striker. I mean, you scored 14 goals in the striker position last season, so it's not that bad for a striker. But Shanks, I do get what you mean. Do you understand? I do think I would like him on the left side, potentially. Let's have a look. Welcome to the new panel member. Everyone follow me on Twitter. Go follow him after the stream. Don't all just start leaving to follow Rich Moneymaker now. Do that after the stream. But yeah, big up follow. I guess I'm the new panel member. I mean, yes, I'm technically new. Not panel member, though I'm the host. But actually technically I'm not new. I've been on Chelsea Perspective before. Did a very good YouTube. We did a little episode on Griezmann and Dembele, because there was a controversy with Dembele and Griezmann with Asian people, which was a very disgraceful thing they did. Me and Coachella talked about that at length, which is a very good stream. So if you can go back and find that eventually later on after the stream, great episode. Watch, please do watch it. Very good. But I have been on here before. We'll see at the end of the transfer window if we get Osimhen ready. Yeah, we'll see. It is a matter of waiting. It will not happen. If you think it's going to happen tomorrow, like Neto, yeah. I mean, if it does happen, I can put my hands up. But it's going to be to the Wolves' end. 14 goals in the Shanks. I'm just going to make the point that the striker at the age of Jackson, coming into the Premier League first season, getting 14 goals just in the Premier League. That's not including other competitions where I think it's 16, 17, 18, something like that. That's not bad, especially with no European games either. That is not a bad goal tally. I understand he could have, not to mention the fact that he could have scored many more. He has the potential to improve and score. It's not about. I'm not saying it's fantastic, out of this world. I'm just saying it's not bad. It's a decent season. It's a decent first season, and it's something to build on. Name me one. There's only one other striker that we've had since Costa that has got to that level in his first season, technically. And that was only just that was Tammy Abraham. And Tammy Abraham had his own problems outside of scoring. Scoring was the one thing he did well. There was other problems with it. So, yeah. I mean, he's been one of the better strikers we've had. Just say. But also, I get that he potentially could play even better on the left. Everyone stay on this channel, and I think you are better than the legend Stevens. No comment. It's not necessary to bring Osimhen because he had only one better season. Let's don't put the pressure on the owners. Again, I don't. He's had some very good seasons consistently in different leagues. I disagree on that. My question would be: is he worth the money and the wage that you're going to pay for him? That's another debate. But you've just seen, again, Solanke has gone to Tottenham for £65 million. Is that worth it? Absolutely not. One season, Dominic Solanke scored a decent amount of goals, and the Spurs are paying £65 million for it. So that just sums up the market. Let's have a look. We get Osimhen. Beautiful game. We get Osimhen. I'm changing my prediction. Let's just say, come April, odds will be slashed. For what? What? Wait. I need some context of what this is. Odds will be slashed. You do not say we're going to challenge the title. Do not buy into this hype. Are we selling, loaning Mudryk? I'd like to loan Mudryk. I don't think the owners or the sporting directors have the balls to do that, because the media will slag it off because it's £100 million signing that's going on loan. Ha ha ha! How disgraceful Chelsea are. Sterling, I think, will be very hard to sell unless Saudi come in and offer him something very nice, which I don't think will happen. I'll be love. By the way, big up. We've just got 307 in the house. Big up to everyone that is listening. This is a smashing stream on a Friday night. enjoying a little bit of alcohol to enjoy this Friday night. Just had a barbecue before this, so I am full up with food. But big up to everyone that is in the house and listening. Smash the like button and keep watching. I don't know why people are criticising Jackson. It's like Jackson is that Jackson first season was better than Drogba. Shanks is going to argue to you about that, but you guys can have a peaceful debate about that in the comment section, and I can just watch and eat some popcorn. Anyone against Osimhen is anti-progress. If you want pain and frustration, I suggest watching. Yeah, Shanks, I get what you're saying. My only thing is, we have bought big strikers and they've not worked. People said, I remember having a comment from Twitter of the exact same thing, saying anyone who is against Lukaku is anti-process. We bought him for £100 million, and it hasn't helped us. And it was possibly one of the worst signings Chelsea have ever done. So let's just keep our feet firmly on the ground, Shanks. I don't know what this 2 is related to, but 24 missed chances. He can't finish one-on-one is my name. He does need to improve his 1v1s, but again, you see, this is where I'm making. This is raw Nicholas Jackson that came in as a rough diamond. When it was quite clear when Jackson came in, everyone knew this was someone that was a raw footballer. He's still very young. Only had 12 months of football. Sorry, I was just reading another comment that I will answer to the point in a minute. Yeah, he's great. I think he's great at some stuff, and there's other stuff that he needs to improve on. But that doesn't mean that I think people think that a player is this good and he just stays this good. Like, there is some progression that players do get better, players do get worse. I think there are very good things in Jackson's game that if he improves on stuff like 1v1, just a bit more clinicalness, which as you get older, you do get more clinical because you will get more intelligent. You learn the game and you know in the right positions to be in. You know how to adapt yourself better for taking shots, etc. I think that will come. I think Jackson has proved more than enough to show that he's got it to potentially improve and become a very good striker. How do we know Osimhen won't work? How do we know Osimhen will work out? I'd argue this is a player that I don't like to use these comments, but Premier League proven, etc. I do think we were arguing about a mute point. I think Osimhen will work out. Osimhen will work out, in my opinion. We agree with that. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate with you, Shanks. Heard the same. Yeah, but there's Mudryk's rawness is like Jackson is like a medium rare at the moment. Like, some people like a medium rare, some people like a bit more medium, well done, steak, whatever. Freaking Mudryk is still the cow. Not even cut. Not even the cow's still alive. That's how raw Mudryk is. There's different levels of raw. Mudryk is way off the scale in terms of more. The scale doesn't exist for how raw Mudryk is. It's well off screen right here. So it's comparing apples and oranges a little bit. So the comment I was going to Blue Chronic, big up to you. Why have I left World Watcher? I can't say all of it on screen. What I will say is it's enough. Me and Sadiq are still great friends. We talk offline. We're still very good with each other. We're still good with all the panelists. It's just more personal situations outside work-wise, which meant I had to leave the channel for a bit. I could still come back potentially. It just situations need to sort itself out. I mean, I said I wouldn't be on YouTube now if it wasn't for Coach Hiller needing the host, and I was kind enough to step in. But it is good to be back. It's good to be back in for a little bit. And even now, it's. I had to make some arrangements to get these streams sorted and get time to do this. Let's have a look. I mean, to be able to talk about followers now. It's cool, but I will ignore them comments if that's all right with you guys. Jackson missing chances doesn't mean he's bad. The biggest club he's ever played for is Villarreal. I mean, Haaland misses chances. Haaland misses absolute sitters. People do not slag off Haaland. The difference is Haaland scores enough goals to outweigh that. That's where Jackson needs to improve on. And I think I'm not saying Jackson is the finished article. I'm just saying I think he will get there eventually. In, say, 1 or 2 years' time. The improvement from Jackson at the start of last season to the end of last season was a good improvement, as it is. He just needs to continue that, which I think he will. And arguably, obviously we've missed Cole Palmer in pre-season, but arguably we've missed Jackson just as much. Arguably. Just so. And when he left for AFCON, everyone mentioned how much we missed Jackson. So I'm just making that point there. Chilwell needs to leave now, Brozier too. Chilwell will not leave, I don't think, but Brozier will. I will just say it like that. Because I've mentioned the Chilwell thing a few times now from a few people. EPL is a huge league. That's not easy to play in. That's the reason why Jackson didn't play at his best in the first season. Chelsea FC is now new to. I mean, it takes time to adapt. Every player takes time to adapt. Shanks is not toxic. I'm not being toxic at all. You can have your opinion, and I do agree with most of your opinion. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just playing a bit of devil's advocate. Not. I'm just trying to, like Miz. I'm the other side of the coin. I'm doing what Miz used to do. I'm not trying to slag off Miz, but I'm not toxic positivity. I'm positive. I'm just positive. I'm not toxic. You can be negative. I just don't want you to just be disaster, like anarchist. Anarchy doesn't do anything. Just healthy criticism is absolutely fine. Healthy positivity is absolutely fine. Being up in the fairies and believing everything's going to be fine and dandy is just not works. I'm all for toxic. Fuck's sake. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. That was my first boo. Anyway, big up to everyone. So let's talk. Let's turn the conversation and let's go a little bit more into final game of pre-season. Inter Milan tomorrow. I'm under the influence that Neto is not going to play because it's too late. Even if he do, theoretically, if we do sign him tomorrow morning, technically he could make an appearance, but I don't think he will. I think we will keep him under wraps and he'll train and potentially be up for selection against City, but I think we'll probably be on the bench for that as well. But we'll have hopefully Cucurella and Palmer make some game time. Jackson, I think, will be fit enough to play as well. So hopefully we'll see some of them. And hopefully we can see just a bit. Inter Milan, we've played some very good teams and some very poor teams, and we've played some teams that were much further ahead pre-season. So Inter will spank us better. I mean, Real Madrid didn't spank us better. Real Madrid are one of the best. We'll see. I think hopefully we can just sort. If we can make as little mistakes as we can, we won't get spanked. I'm not saying we're going to win. I am not saying we're going to win at slightest. But I just need to see some less mistakes. Will Palmer and Jackson play Sunday? They will play some sort of game time because to get them to be ready for Sunday for the games on a Saturday, if I'm right. I think it's on a Saturday, not Saturday. I think it's tomorrow, but yeah. Will Palmer and Jackson play? Yes, because otherwise, if they don't play, then they're not going to be ready to start against City at all. Which obviously Maresca will want Palmer and Jackson to play. Otherwise, that is just surrendering the loss straight away before we've even started. Jackson is a key player. Compare his stats to Højlund, Núñez, etc. Carries the ball like no one. I mean, he's better. I will say right now, Shanks might disagree. He's better than Núñez every day of the week. Every day of the week and on Sunday. And some more. We could create a fake 8th day of the week, and he'll still be better than Nunes. I will say that right now. Shanks might disagree, and some of you all might disagree, but that is just my opinion. I like your positive. I mean, I'm just. There's no tie. I just can't be asked to be negative the whole. If you're just doomsday the whole time, it just makes you depressed in life. I'd rather not be depressed in life. It does help that just a bit of background in terms of my family's footballing situation. Half of my family are Chelsea, which is the side I chose to support, my mum's side. And my dad, my brother, and a few other members of my family support Ipswich Town, which obviously this season is going to make a juicy season for them 2 games. But they've seen enough negative. They've seen enough downs. We call this a down period. They've seen for League One football. So I know I know how down the dumps you can be. So I just learn that you can't let football get you down too much, otherwise it will cause you serious problems. So that's why I try and be as positive as I can. I will be negative. You'll see me be negative. You'll see me be frustrated in reactionary ways, because that's just us as football fans. But I'm just trying to keep positive, because it's the beginning of the season. There's no point. Preseason is not the time to be negative. And I was positive last season in preseason. How long it takes for me to be negative is another question. It's another question, my dear Richard. We need Palmer, Jackson, and Cucurella in the City game. Enzo should be on the bench. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Any update on the stadium expansion? Oh boy, don't get me started on this. This is where my negativity will set in, because this is where I will say Chelsea are being held back by our own fan base, and you wonder why we're selling players, because it's not. This is pick something that's going to be longer: the Chelsea stadium expansion, or Chelsea getting Osimhen. Probably a debatable argument. Nunes and Jackson, same players. Oh, come on. Oh, Shanks, come on. That's not, no. Jackson, come on. It's okay. You can admit it. Beautiful game. Play Lavia as a lone 6. I want to see something. We'll see. I mean, you've got Caicedo, Lavia. Both can play it at different times. I don't think I'd play him against City as a lone 6, but I do want to see it in some games. I think you might see it more in the Conference League games. There's no update. Last update was, as we know, we bought that area at the Stole bit. There's not planning permission takes ages, and I don't think we're at the stage of doing it yet, because the Chelsea pitch owners will hold a lot up. But best to speak to them, because they're the ones that know the information, because they're the ones that get the final say. Mandem just hate Jackson for no reason. I mean, we are having me and Shanks are having a nice discussion. There's no hate. There's no insults flying around. Maybe comparing Jackson to Nunes was a bit of a low one, but a little bit of a low blow. But me and Shanks are having a good debate about it. It's a good, healthy debate. It's okay to disagree. You just got to be civil about it. Civil disagreement is all good. Being able to challenge people is all good. It makes you a better person. There is negativity, and then there's reality. I cannot see us with all of the changes succeeding in any serious manner without clinicality in an inverted possession-based system and a portal. Yeah, but that's assuming that we're going to stay like this for the whole season. I think we will improve throughout the season. It just depends on how bad the start of the season is, on whether it affects and on how it affects the end of the season. But again, we'll have to wait and see how our season starts off. We can get results and maybe not play, maybe make mistakes and work on our game. Then it will depend on where we are. He had a decent season. Hope he can improve. This Jackson debate ain't going to stop. I like it. But we do need to talk about something else at some point. We do not have out-and-out scorers in midfield besides Nkunku, and informed Palmer plays that role. This inverted system is supposed to overload the midfield, which leaves a man open, but they need to score. We'll see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just wait and see. The coach should deploy a different tactics because the high line he wants to play will not help us. I mean, Maresca has said, whether he's telling the truth or not, he doesn't want to play a high line. And it's this. His reasoning is that it's something that Poch done, which I agree, because I was making the exact criticism. I was making the exact criticism under Poch that we were playing a high line with one of the Premier League's oldest defenders. So this was here last season, and whether it's a thing, I've not played at the highest level of football. I've played at a good level, and I know exactly what he means by players get into habits, and it takes a lot of time to train them habits out. So it might just be a bit more that I do understand his point. Whether he's telling the truth or not, I do understand his point about the high line. We need to work out defence. We cannot see if we sort out the defence and improve the attack a little bit and bring the players that we haven't got back, then I think we can be okay. You just earned yourself a follower. I don't know if that's Rich or me or the channel, but big up, Robert. Thanks for coming, and hope you stay in the stream for future streams to come. We stream nearly daily. Tomorrow will be a bit hard if we do get a stream. Maybe Sunday will be fine, but a bit later. But most days we will be in evening time-ish. Beautiful game. Liverpool have to repaint the woodwork and mend the seats in Rosehead after every... yeah, that's not totally... It's not totally... When the ball hit... I mean, I just think of the chant. When the ball hits your head and you sit in Rosehead, that's Zamora. So, big up Bobby Zamora. What a player. But just don't sit in Rosehead when he's playing. What's your preferred start 11 versus City? Oh, that is a good question. So, Jorgensen in goal. This is me assuming that Cucurella, Jackson, Palmer, everyone is fit and ready to go. So, Jorgensen in goal, Cucurella at left back. I'm going to go with Colwill and Tosin at centre back. I'm going to go with, obviously Reece James is suspended, so I'll go with Gusto at right back. In the midfield, I would go with Caicedo. I would go with Lavia. I would go with Nkunku. Now, if Neto, that I previously had Nkunku on the left, but I will put Nkunku in the middle now and go a bit more out attacking wise. On the left, I would bring in Neto if he's ready. If not, I would bring in Dewsbury Hall in midfield, Nkunku on the left. On the right, I would have Palmer, and up front, I would have Nicholas Jackson. This is assuming that is the players we've got at the club that are going to be here still. I agree that Jackson should definitely play on the left ahead of Sterling Mudryk. That's his natural position. Just because he can play false nine doesn't mean he should. Give me Osimhen, please. Shanks, we are not in disagreement on that fully. I just think he can also play strike, but that's fine. I mean, we'll be going around in circles if we keep debating it. But let's just agree to agree and agree to disagree on certain points. At the start of the season, I guess it is, we might start perfectly, but in the long run, there will be progress. We might not. Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, yes. There will be bumps in the road at the start, but I think we will get there in the end. It just takes time. I mean, I don't really agree with a lot of what Alex Goldberg says, but actually his video that he made the other day, where he got a bit of criticism with, I actually don't disagree with a lot of it. I think give the time for this system to work or not, an actual time. It's not just time for the sake of it. It's time because this system is wildly different to what we've ever played before. Makes Sarri's system look absolutely normal and easy. That system also leaves us frail at the back. Our centre backs too poor to adjust to this. I mean, you can't. This is what I mean. This is again me playing football at a decent enough level. Systems take time to adjust, and different players will take different lengths of time to adjust. The defence was obviously a problem last season, and the defence wasn't in the best of shape. So it's natural that's going to be the thing that takes longest to fix. Again, how long it takes to fix is another question. I do think some of these players have the potential. I mean, Cole Will, with his abilities and his the things that are supposed to be good about him. I'm actually going to turn the light on quickly because it's a little bit dark now. Let me know if that light is just too annoying for you guys. It is flashing, but it will get better. The abilities of Cole Will, he should be fitted to the system reasonably well. I'm not. This is not me saying that all of our centre backs are perfect and all our defenders are perfect, but it's just going to take time. Some players take a little bit longer time to get suited the systems, and it's fine. That's just the what. It is just football. It's just football. Might be a cop out me saying that, but it's just football. And people that have played football at a decent enough level and have played a range of tactics. For example, me. I'm also a centre back by trade. So I can sympathise with the centre backs a little bit. So I was involved in the team, and the coach wanted to play. The best way I could describe it is it's sort of gegenpressing type thing, and it took me half the season, and it meant I was benched for most of the season to adapt to be able to press as a centre back and press out. I just couldn't get it. It just took me a while, and it's just sometimes you are not. Some systems are suited to some players, and they can click it and get it really easy. Some take a bit longer. Obviously, the fact that some of these players are younger, while they're more malleable to fit different systems, it also might just take them a little bit of time to learn things. It's just we need to be a bit patient with the fact that players learn stuff. That we just wait and see. I mean, big up that these viewing numbers are getting higher and higher each time. 357 now. Big up to everyone that is listening. If you haven't already, smash the like button. It means that more and more people will be joining. It's now 358. Let's smash the like button so we can get 400, 500 people in this channel. And obviously subscribe, because it means one, you can comment and join in the debate. And obviously, you see, at the moment, I'm not even talking about a particular topic. We've given up the schedule. We're just talking to you guys because you're all great and you're all putting in loads of comments and don't want to leave anytime soon. Although I do actually have to leave reasonably soon. But we'll carry on talking your comments. So Ade's starting 11 is Jurgensen, Gusto, Cucurella, Tosin, Colwill, Caicedo, Lavia, and Cuckoo. Basically what I said, depending on not if Neto was ready. But yeah, big up to that. Big up to Ade. Definitely, everything takes time, but Maresca has 0 time. We have the Prem where every team can win on their day, European football and domestic cups. Plus, we have a bloated squad, so it will take longer. Yes, but I think that bloated squad will be cut down by the end of the window. So I don't think that bloated squad's going to be so much of a problem by the end of the window. Does Maresca have zero time? I think you've got to get this whole zero time stuff. We're just gonna keep going around having a new manager every season and given no time. There has to be every manager gets a period of time where they've got time to sort their stuff out. Obviously, we do have to get results, but my argument would be we have the Conference League to fall back on if the league isn't so good. So say we finish 7th, for example. I'm not saying we will. I don't think we will. I think we'll finish higher. But say we do finish 7th, but we win the Conference League. We're back. We're in the Europa League, which, yes, it's not exactly where we want to be, but it's another step up closer to where we need to be and where we want to be. So I don't see the point of sacking Maresca 2-3 months into the season because he hasn't sorted the system out yet. It needs time to. What my question is when everyone's fully suited to it, that's when I'll make the judgment of whether it's good enough. And that is a fair way of doing it. That's a fair. Otherwise, you're just wasting money for the sake of wasting money on managers' contracts. Whoever said Kieran Doozy-Poole reminds him of Mount should be banished from. I can't remember who said it, but it's God of Frogs. Yeah, I disagree with it as well. But yeah, Robert Sanchez should leave and Petrovic should stay because he is better than Sanchez. Even he can play out from the back better than Sanchez. So I don't know why they want to keep Sanchez. Poor goal. I mean, I think the reason is that the reason he is keeping Sanchez over Petrovic is because I think Petrovic realistically is more marketable to sell at the moment, and that is the brutality of it. It is the way of football, and people say, "Oh, this is Bowley, blah blah blah, business, mark." This happens. This happens in clubs. This happens in football. It's happened multiple times before, where sometimes a player is so bad that you can't go out, that you have to sacrifice people better than him to make improvements. I think it is harsh on Petrovic, but at the same time, I don't think Petrovic is out of this world that I'm losing sleep over it. If Jorgensen turns out to be a really good goalkeeper, and we have to sacrifice Petrovic for that, then that's fine. Obviously, if Jorgensen turns out to be a flop, then that's where we have to ask questions about what we're doing with our scouting, particularly of goalkeepers, on the goalkeeper side. But if Sanchez is second choice and just bad, but stay second choice, and don't forget we've got younger goalkeepers that could go on loan and improve, then we can deal with Sanchez being second choice. It's just up to whether this Philip Jorgensen can be good enough to be the first choice goalkeeper. So I guess she was top 4 trophy. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, my aim is Champions League, whether it's top 4, top 5, and Conference League. That's my aim for the season. So hopefully we can do that. I can't believe we're in a Conference League. We can win every trophy that there is ever placed. I don't mind. I mean, we're talking about me and Belgian football. Club Brugge did a good run in the Conference League, and it was more enjoyable than you think. Just enjoy the range of games that you have to watch and the range of levels. But anyway, we have finally got someone to enter and join me. Up to Bobby. Bobby, how are you getting on?
Hey, big up, Matt. Big up. Sorry, I've sort of really occupied at home at the moment, but yeah, I thought I'd join you.
That's
Wow, what news today, eh? I think
Oh,
nobody saw that one coming.
I come back to me and my partner. I thought we'd have a nice barbecue with the weather. I come in, just started getting the barbecue ready. I just looked at my phone, just popping up, and I was like, "Well, good job we're having a stream today."
Yeah, it's good. Gives us something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
eh?
I was going to say, to be fair, it's been an hour and 44 minutes of me being with the comment section, but it's been brilliant and we've had lots to talk about. So, and yeah, the part I liked about it, Bobby, was the fact that we didn't hear anything of this.
Yeah.
Normally with Fabrizio Romano, it's we hear what the signing's having for dinner today. We hear every single little detail of his life before he signs, and it kind of is a bit boring and like not you don't get really hyped when the signing actually comes in. But I love it that we just got this done out the blue, and it brings me a bit more hope in the club that they actually know what they're doing.
Well, to be honest, Chelsea do this. Renato Vega's one of these. It's just that he's not a big name.
Yeah, but
We do.
there's the thing, you can get away with the smaller players like that because sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes journalists see it and they just don't get the traction from it. But
Yeah.
this one,
You know,
it's a big one to miss.
yeah, I mean, the keep looking this way, keep looking this way, then we hit you this way is it's not uncommon to us. The trouble is anything you do with Chelsea's news, and
Yeah,
people come at you and they would rather control the news, which will get out anyway, than let it just get out and you've got no control and it becomes madness. So uh, I'm not surprised. However, I just want to be pleased with it. I mean, Pedro Neto, crikey, and then slightly, people talk about his injury. Yeah, yes and no, but we're all salivating for Michael Elise, and he's about the same thing.
yeah,
And I think he is the compensation for Michael Elise. A good player. He is a good player. He will improve us for sure, and that's what we want. Another thing I'm kind of pleased to see is we're building squad with depth. We're not all about the first 11. And
yeah,
I love it. That is modern football. You don't just uh, build your armada around your first 11. You have a squad in which 15 of you are going to be fairly regular. And the rest are going to be part of a fairly regular rotation. And that's just how it is with Chelsea. I mean, hopefully we get to know what we're doing and manage to stay in competitions for a long time by going far in them. And if we do, these players will get game time, some more than others, but everybody will play enough. And we would have enough strength to be strong all the way through, provided they're fit. Now, it's strange, most clubs won't even be talking about fitness. But, after what happened to us last season, I think everybody is quietly concerned anytime a player goes down with even a little bit of cramp. Um, but I think every Chelsea fan hearing this, I mean, I heard it. Actually, it's my son that told me. And I was like, what? I thought he was joking. He said, no, it looks like it's happening. And I'm like, crikey, okay. Then I looked into it. Then I'm hearing Romano. And I'm hearing Sky News. And Sky, they're mimics anyway. But if it gets to them, you know that all the big wigs have done it. And of course, when David Ornstein's talking about it, you got to sit up. And I'm thrilled. I've got to say, it's a signing this season. I mean, all the signings, I don't think any of them has really excited me, but this one does. When I mean, I'm not against them, but you know what I mean.
yeah. Like, it's not the one that gets you out your seat.
Exactly. We're Chelsea. We've been there when we picked up people, and you're like, wow. We remember when we got people like Diego Costa, and we're like, oh, okay. But this is a wow factor. It is. This is marquee. This is proper marquee stuff. I'm surprised we got him. 54 million. That's not bad.
Yeah,
It's not bad at
I
all.
mean,
In this,
especially when you're seeing at the same day Solanke's going to Tottenham for 65.
there you go.
You
There you
just
go. And how many? Oh, it's 24 years old, so I presume he's signed what of 6 years, sort of thing. We do. Is it six he's signed?
I assume so. I think I saw 6 years. I can't remember if that was Solanke or Neto because I saw
No,
both.
it'll be Neto. That's the sort of thing we'll do with him. His injuries, well, he's in a team that has enough players for him to rotate with.
That's the
I
thing.
like it.
We don't have to worry if we can keep the other players fit. You've got
Yeah,
Nkunku, you've got Palmer, you've got Madueke, and you've got Neto, and that's before you even get to Sterling,
yeah,
Mudryk, others like Jackson. If we do get a striker and Jackson now plays out on the left or whatever,
I like it.
you've got so much depth, and as you said, it's depth.
It
But
is that.
it's not even just depth for the sake of depth. It's quality depth as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
That's what I like when we talk about Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Yeah, it doesn't get me out of my seat, but it's decent
Still
quality
quality.
depth.
Yeah,
Tosin again. I think if I'm hoping Fofana can get back to his best, get his fitness back, and hopefully retain that starting place. But then you've got Tosin, who was you got for nothing. He's not
yeah.
on a ridiculous wage and is a quality backup.
He is.
So
He is. I
it's
mean,
again,
we should be happy. You know, fitness, match fitness. You know, physical fitness. And learning the system is all you know, we got a lot of work to do. Let's not kid ourselves, especially with the new guys coming in. That's an added newness. You know, they've got to learn the team has to learn them, they've got to learn the system. So there is a lot of work to do. You know, people are saying, oh, Meridion is signed as a third choice, second choice. I don't know, you know, they're all going to come up with all sorts. But I like it. I like it. Do you know what? I'm so relaxed about the Osimhen thing. You know, if we get him, great. It's a bonus. If we don't, great. It's fine. You know, I think part of me doesn't want us to do it because I don't want Gui or Goey. I don't know how it's said now, but I don't want him not to get the opportunity with the first team even in the squad. Do you know what I mean? I think the
yeah,
kid has worked hard. I like his game. I think he can only get better. Um, I would be disappointed for him, to be honest, if he has to go on loan. So I'm kind of hoping that we are settling with Meridian and him as our strikers, as our top strikers, with people like uh, um, Jackson and Kunku and indeed Cole Palmer around anytime we want to mix it up and play a bit of the false nine, because they can play tens, they can play eights, they can play, you know, on the wings, left wing, right wing. We have the permutations of this squad is awesome. Now we've got to get to work and get it right. If we, you know, funny enough, last night I watched the Real Madrid game again. I thought, do you know what? Let me just watch this thing because I've never really watched it from beginning to end. Let me just watch it from beginning to end and see what went wrong. You know, see what's and yeah, a lot went wrong. You know, even Badia Shield that you know we're all hammering and rightly so. I can get why he's persisting with him because you see, Batia Shield's very good on the ball, very good on the ball. He's a good passer of the ball as well, and Maresca's going to like that. Some of his defense's bozo moments, is what gives everyone concern. But he also in that game did a lot of important interceptions when he wakes up. So maybe that's a fitness thing. I don't know. You know, I really don't know. But the guy, I remember when he first came to Chelsea, he wasn't bad. So, you know, we'll wait and see. And another thing I noticed against Real Madrid is there were moments that we played some absolutely blinding stuff, but we just didn't finish. So if we can incorporate that consistently into our play and finish our chances, Matt, we've got one hell of a team there. Nobody's going to want to play against us. I'm telling you, mate, nobody. Because that team is flipping good. Player for players, a lot of talent. So we got to work hard and sort this out. If we do, we're going to be proud of the team we've got, you know? Goalkeeper, I wasn't really that impressed. I thought, I'm not too sure. There are times I thought he could have come out and smothered. He stood back, but maybe that's because it was pre-season and he didn't want to get injured. I don't know.
You
But
get some. You get sometimes with a new goalkeeper. They don't want to. They don't want to take
overdo it.
too many risks and overdo it. Take risks and they play it a bit safe, and almost that leads to like some mistakes. But
Some
yeah, I mean,
hesitation.
he's also. I think that's goalkeepers. They mature a bit later, so that's why I'm a little bit confused of why we keep going after younger goalkeepers, because I think you normally see a goalkeeper at his best in his like late 20s, early 30s. So you got a long time before some of these players are going to get to that. So they've got time to learn. So I don't.
Well,
Maybe we need to consider getting a more experienced goalkeeper at least.
Matt, this is what the project is about. They don't want somebody that's coming in. They want the boys to learn together.
Yeah,
They want them to develop together. So they want them to build, to grow up together. So if you grow up together and succeed together, you create that potential, or you create that platform for longevity of success.
yeah.
I get it. I see what they're trying to do. I pray it works, because if it does, it will be sensational. It really will. Neto has got me excited. It's been a long time that we've signed someone and I've felt this way. Um, and I just, there's hope in the fan base. And at the same time, reality check in that we know we've got work to do. It's not all just going to suddenly come and we start ripping up trees. No. This team needs to take time. For those that really understand forgive me for saying this, but I will say it, the proper fans that know what time of day it is, and are not just still living in cloud cuckoo peak Roman Abramovich time, where we would just buy anybody we want and beat everybody up on the field. Those days are not with us. We're creating now, and creating something takes time. So yeah, it's wonderful. Sorry, Matt, I was just going to say I'm surprised that none of our panel colleagues um joined you. I'm really surprised they left you alone, because we're usually quite good at that. We
It's
see somebody.
it's fine. Everyone's probably got their busy schedules and whatever. I mean, to be fair, the comments have been the comment section have been absolutely brilliant and keeping the debate going on. I think we had about a 30-minute debate on Jackson, which was lovely. Everyone loves the debate about Jackson, but everyone's been great. I mean, we found out. Well, actually, Selena was announced while we were on live. We've now got two goalkeepers down. Two have gone out on loan now. I think
Okay.
Selina's gone to Barnsley, which I think
Really?
it's a little bit of a lower level than I thought he'd go, but Barnsley at least. I mean, at least he's in a team that shouldn't concede many goals. I mean, last season for Erpen, they were one of the worst teams in terms of defence. So he had a lot to do.
At least
But
he's in England
yeah,
as
he's in
well.
England, so it's a good thing. And hopefully we'll be able to see more of him there. And Eddie Beach has gone to Crawley, which is not really too much of nothing to cry about. But that's two more goalkeepers down, about 7 to go.
Matt, you were talking about, goalkeepers, they take longer than others to develop. I mean, Gabriel Slonina's a child. He's a fetus. you know, he's a fetus in terms of goalkeeping age. So he's got to do the loan rounds, and he's happy with it,
Yeah,
thankfully. The one I'm really upset about is Georgie. Two players that I'm not happy with, that we're going to move on. Well, we don't know yet about Petrovic, but it seems that way, and I really won't like us to do that. I think he should be ahead of Sanchez. I've spilled no bones about that. But Chalobah, Matt, I can be wrong, but I still think this guy's our best centre back. I really do, and selling him just does my head in. I don't get it. I don't, I understand why they like Badiashile. I think Badiashile on the ball is very, very good, especially for a defender. But I don't know. I'm struggling with this Chalabar thing. I'm really struggling. I'd rather see, okay, you want to keep Badishiel, then let the Sassy go and keep Chalabar, you know? I know it's not going to happen. I know, but I'm not happy with it. I'm just about getting rid of Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, I
But
mean, to be
Chalobah,
fair, with Chalobah, I think because it's been such a long time in the make, I've kind of just settled on it and
accept it. Yeah.
accepted it. And that's the thing. I do like. I mean, I've always liked Badiashile. I think I will defend Badiashile for a while because I think, as you
There's
said,
something about him, isn't there?
that first 6 months
Yeah.
under arguably Potter was a terrible manager, and
Yeah.
Lampard. We won't speak about Lampard.
Yeah.
The manager, the less the better. But he looks good, and then he had that groin injury, missed the pre-season, which I think people underestimate how much missing a pre-season can really affect your groove going back in. And he just had a terrible season in a defense. I was explaining for a while in the beginning of the stream that when every defender is terrible, and even Chalobah was the best of the rest in that last season, but arguably I think he was so almost outcast from the system of what Poch was playing. Arguably, he's come in knowing least about the system and has just played his own game, and that's probably why he looks better than most. I think when everyone you've got, when you've seen Badiashile play well, I've seen Disasi at Monaco play quite well. Fofana's played, obviously Fofana was injured, but so we won't count that aspect. But I've seen some of these players play quite well. Not all of them are just terrible. This is just, I think it's sometimes in the defence, if a system is not working, it's going to make you all look bad. And I think, again, this is where these players have got to learn this new system. I do think people keep saying get a new centre back in. Leave the defence alone this season. Let's see, because at the moment they're at that kind of rock bottom. They can't get worse than they are. Let's see how far their ceiling can go this season. And if at the end of the season we still need to think we can get another centre back, then fine, we'll get another centre back. But I said to some of the comment section, I promise you, some of these centre backs will get much better, and you'll go, actually, we don't need another centre back, because I think some of these guys are good, and I think it's just, again, we said, learning this new system ahead of we're still getting over the habits of the old system, which just was terrible. And I made multiple comments of it last season that playing a high line when we had the 39-year-old Thiago Silva, of however old he is now, it just didn't make sense. But it is what it is. I hope we can improve it a bit more. But anyway, we'll add, obviously, Tiger Beast has been sitting there nice and patiently. How are you?
Hello, mate. How are you? Am I audible?
Yeah, you're all good.
Okay. No, I'm good. I'm good. It's a good day, and we are celebrating Pedro Neto, and has been after a long while. I can say I know a guy we have signed. I don't have to see compilations of this guy. I don't have to Google him and see who is this and where he plays. So I'm really happy we have finally signed someone who I personally know. Like I know, okay, yeah, he's a player, and I've seen him destroying us on few occasions. So it's kind of a good deal today. Um, what else? What else are we talking about? I mean, I just joined the stream. I was late, but I'm hopeful
Yeah,
that Roger was there. And big up to the panel and big up to you. Amazing stream as always.
I think everyone's happy with that one. They are happy with it. I got to say,
Yeah,
with Matt, I do agree with you, Matt. You know, as I was saying, I watched Real Madrid game again, and I was watching Badia Shield, and I said, "Do you know what? There's something about this fella. He is good. There's something about him. I know he had some bozos, and you're right, no preseason, and there's just something about him. Why the managers like him." So I'm like you. I'm quite prepared to say, right, okay, I'll go with this defense and see where it takes us. Because they're not fit. I mean, Colwell had a stinker in a way against Real Madrid, but then even he had his moments of good play, as with Reece James. So it's a team in process. If you get my drift, it's a team learning something new, and with the quality of this team, lads, this is not a joke. This is a serious team, and I can assure you, our rivals are sweating.
Yeah.
They're sweating.
Yeah, I mean, one more point kind of on this defence. I mean, I kind of explained this analogy to the comments already, but I I played actually centre back, so it's actually a perfect example for this. I've played at a decent level, and I was at a team, a new manager come in, and he wanted the best way I could describe the system is it's almost Jurgen Klopp gegenpressing type system. We all press as a team. It's all one motion, and it involved me as a centre back stepping out quite aggressively to attack whatever attacking player vacates the position in the centre. It took me 6-7 months to just actually be able to do it. There were so many times I made mistakes. Eventually, I got dropped, and the manager said, "You've got to learn and get you." He's like, "I know you will get this, but you're just taking a lot longer than he'd want me to, and the team needs me to." And sometimes it happens that players do just take time to learn certain things. And I got there, and once I'd got it, I was very good at it. But it just takes players time to learn stuff. And I think people need to realise that this system, it's not an easy system. It's very complicated. I mean, it makes Maurizio Sarri's system look very easy and easy to understand and do. So I think people need to have that understanding that different players will take time to get used to stuff. And that's, I think, with a defence where, as we've said, it was dreadful last season. So they're trying to already get to a higher level while learning something new. It's going to take time. But go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
No, just had a point. I mean, and also a question to both of you because, I mean, I personally feel that this defense lacks some leadership. I don't know if you guys concur on the panel and in the chat, because I've seen when Thiago Silva was there. That, I mean, I'm not saying there were no situations where we were not looking like we were clueless. There were situations like that, a few situations like that, but there were there's always that one person in that back line who knew what to do, and he can dictate all the other pieces of that back line to actually end a cross or just put an attack to an end, and everything he just handles it out. What has happened to this Chelsea back line? All the experience has been snatched away from it, and now I personally don't know if people consider Reece James experienced in that right centre back position or not, but I don't feel so. I personally think we should have gone with someone like, a Jonathan Tauff by Leverkusen, or some experienced centre back who knows what it is to keep the back line together, and in situations of extreme pressure when attacks are overflowing and there is last minute counter attacks happening. I feel that there is a lack of leadership. But as Matt said right now, that these guys, Badiashil, he has been very calm since he has arrived. At first, the first impressions of him was that he's very calm even in situations which are uncertain and which are very provoking for a centre back. So he's very calm in that, but we have seen him losing his calm or making mistakes. I remember the last game, he could have put his body online, but he was just standing like a statue over there, and we considered a goal. But so this team will improve, but the problem with conceding goals is gonna happen this season as well. And this is kind of like my opinion, and it can differ obviously. But I personally feel the lack of leadership in that back line, even if we play a three at the back or four at the back, will certainly have some amount of additions to the number of goals we are going to concede this season. And that's why I say that if we are building on a forward line which is, much more strengthened to score and outscore the number of goals we concede, that results in more points per game technically. And that's why, I mean, because we have not signed anyone, still the window is not over. I'm not saying we can't get a, great experienced centre back to anchor the line, but I don't feel so that Chelsea will go for it. So that was my opinion. I feel like leadership is missing, and as Matt and Roger sir said, it will take time to, build these guys into a leader in that back line.
Yeah, I think, I mean, from my point of view and from what I see they're doing, it's too early for that level of deductive conclusions. There are lots of leaders there. Um, Two things they need to get themselves sorted with: one, their fitness and their match fitness, and then understanding the system. A lot of what we're seeing is the fitness and the rustiness of game time caused by season long spells out injured. I don't think we can ever underestimate what that has done to the players. And I'm with Matt very much so. I think the defense needs time. We need to wait and see them click into place. There are lots of leaders there. Tosin is a leader. Badishu in his own way is a bit of a leader. Colwill, they're all, shall I say, the kind of defenders that won't necessarily take a back step. Now, do they have the maturity and the nous of a Thiago Silva? I don't think so. People like Thiago Silva developed upon, after years and years of playing at the very, very top level.
Yeah, I mean, I'd argue really Thiago Silva. I don't think there's anyone in world football that has the experience to replace Thiago Silva. I think
Yeah, I mean,
whoever you get is going to even like someone said about getting Matt Hummels on a free. I still don't think his experience is anything like Thiago Silva's experience. I think everyone would be a downgrade, and I think with it, just someone like Matt Hummels does not fit what we want to do. I also think Matt Hummels, who's played in Germany his whole career, coming at the age of 34, 35 to the Premier League might not work.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. We have to, you see, this is what happens when you're rebuilding. We have to build this one out. These guys have to develop together, and that's what they're there for. It's not going to happen, at the click of a finger. It's something that will blend with a little bit more time, a bit more rehearsal, a bit more integration of the team, and then we'll start to see what we're looking for. That's why it's called a project, really, because it takes, you're creating something from nothing. You're building from scratch. But the building blocks we have is top quality. We have some of the best young players in the world. It's just we've got to be able to put them together to become perhaps one of the best teams in the world.
Definitely. I think sometimes it is all about organisation. I think this team, it's bloated. It might not be as bloated as the old Roman days, because someone sent me, I think it was sent in the group, the picture of a tweet of 2018 of our 42 loan squad army, and people think our squad's bloated now. But I think the bloatedness, I think, will get sorted out. I mean, we've had 2 loan deals sorted out just today, so I think that will sort itself out by the end of the window. But yeah, we just need to organise the players that we do have together. Going on to tomorrow, we've got obviously Inter Milan final pre-season game at Stamford Bridge. I know Bobby is going to the game. Don't know if anyone else in the comment section also is. Good luck if you are. Hopefully we do get a result. Tiger Beast, do you think we'll potentially see a result against Inter, or do you think it'll be a bit more similar to what we've seen the rest of the pre-season?
I mean, I don't know, because if you have asked me this question last season, I would have said, "Oh well, our preseason is going very well." This season, our preseason has not gone so well. So, I mean, just basing whole observations on what I have seen in the preseason, I think we have still players who are rusty. Cole Palmer and Marco Kurilla coming off in vacation. Yes, they're training, but are they the same Cole Palmer and Marco Kurilla who were at the last game of Euros or whatever? We never know, right? We can only know that tomorrow. So we'll try to uh, get the real hold of things when the match actually kicks off. But I'm fairly confident because it's at Stamford Bridge, and they have. I'm not saying that I'm confident because they have all this PR about the Italian heritage and Italian era and the start of the whole advertisement on Stamford Bridge, but the it's always said that football, the fans are the 12th man, and they create an ambience which motivates you to play and fight for. And I think that's one thing that sometimes you lack in a preseason. People take it lightly, it's just another kind of training and something. But when it would be a packed Stamford Bridge, I hope so, there are a lot of people going tomorrow supporting our club. So in that ambience, I personally think that we can expect a great performance as compared to the last preseason games. And so I'm kind of expecting a 3-2 kind of victory, not undermining Inter Milan at all.
Yeah, I mean, Inter Milan as good as they are, they're not Inter Milan. They're not. They're not
Yeah,
Real Madrid. They're not Man City. And these players are, as in terms of fitness, they're what they hope. Well, they should be at peak fitness now. Obviously, they're still learning the system, and there will still be mistakes. But I do think, and we are. It's not like I've said that me and Bobby have discussed this. It's not like we're getting played off the park in most matches. It's just we make mistakes in defence
yeah,
and teams capitalise on it. So it's simple as if we can make less mistakes in defence, and now we've got Palmer. I think Jackson will also get.
Jackson will play.
Jackson will be ready to play. We'll hopefully have a bit more up front as well. I think Neto, I assume he won't play tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah.
You never
I mean,
know.
I guess the medical is scheduled tomorrow, I guess.
I mean, technically,
So,
he could do his medical, sign in
yeah,
lunchtime,
yeah,
and
because
technically be
because
on
he
the
was trained,
squad.
right? He
Yeah,
was
I mean,
training.
because he's trained with Wolves, so he's
Exactly.
pre-season wise, he's fit, ready, probably as fit as
Yeah.
he will be. It's just I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come on for like 10 minutes.
I would be excited, mate. I would be
just
excited.
to say hello to the Stamford Bridge faithful.
Yeah,
Or
maybe
they
for the
might,
last 20 minutes he can come, or just
or
even not if
they
play
might just do the thing of he comes on at half time, does a lap of the pitch,
like Mudryk did, right?
like Mudryk. I think Caicedo did it as well.
Yeah, Kaiser.
So I think that might be what might be done. But if I think the problem is if he doesn't play against Inter, I don't see him starting at all at Man City. I think he'd have to sit on the bench and probably
Yeah,
not
I mean,
game time unless we need.
depends on his fitness levels, and I guess
But I think
how
it's also kind of you being in the system. I know he'll have a week of training under his
we
belt.
have a Man City game on 18th, isn't it?
Yeah, first game. So
Yeah,
when
he
you've got
cannot
Man
play.
City, you
Yeah,
want to play
no,
with your
yeah,
pride and tested a little bit. So I think
yeah. I mean, he can play, but there are a lot of technicalities involved which we don't know of, right?
exactly.
So yeah,
But yeah, I don't know whether we will get the result, but I'm just hoping we can just see a bit more of a just be a bit more settled at the back. I mean, what would be nice is obviously if Cucurella's back. My assumption it will be Cucurella that does the inverting on that left side, and he was at the end of
Um,
last season. He was quite good at that when he was doing that. So
but do you think Enzo Maresca would invert Cucurella? Because as much as I have read the reports and everything coming inside, I know it's 50-50. You never know exactly what's going on in the manager's head, and it's unless and until it's shown on pitch, right? But I personally think he's more inclining towards inverting the right backs we have rather than inverting the left back. But that may be a thing which we can see in when the actual season begins. And tomorrow's match, yes, it can very well happen as you were saying that Cucurella can invert. I
I,
don't think so. He's
I
inverting Cucurella in season.
the only reason I say that is that I just think he Cucurella looks the most natural fullback
Yeah,
in terms of inverting. I think the reason he's kind of tried to invert the right backs is because Chilwell just can't invert at all,
yeah,
and that's where he's now resulted to playing Gusto and inverting him, playing Gusto at left back,
yeah,
and then in kind of him inverting. And because I think has been games where Reece James has sat as the centre back and Gusto is inverted a little bit.
yeah,
So I do think maybe not tomorrow Gusto will invert, but Cucurella. But I do think Cucurella is the most natural fit of our fullbacks to invert, and it might not come straight away, but I think he probably will do it eventually. But
yeah. Maybe
we'll
it
have to
can
wait and
happen.
see. Again, I think I prefer both Gusto and James to bomb up a bit more as a fullback
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
than coming into midfield. I mean, Reece can do that, but I think it limits Reece to what he can do. I mean, even
yeah,
Reece as the centre back sitting and spraying balls a little bit better. I think he's not been as good at that in pre-season, but he's done that before under Tuchel.
yeah,
For me, it just makes more sense. But I can understand if the system wise it fits for the right back to do it, then fine. But for me it just logically makes a bit more sense. But whether we'll see it tomorrow or further in the season is another question. Anyone else you're particularly excited about seeing tomorrow?
I have been Mudryk supporter from whenever we have signed him. So every game I look forward and to seeing that Mudryk again, which I saw on his debut, against Liverpool. I mean, oh god, it was amazing to see him right there. But he has never shown that kind of skills or anything. He's very raw. So it's always Mudryk whenever you ask me, who are you excited about? I'm always excited about Mudryk. But if someone I'm really seeing to look forward to is Cole Palmer, because I really want to see how he has returned and how good he is. Is he rusty? Is he ready for the Man City game? And how he's doing, and how he's actually playing under this new system, because now I guess he's training from 2-3 days, right, under Enzo Maresca. So
Yeah.
uh, it would be very interesting to look how he's pairing up with Lavia, because these two go back into the Man City academy days. So that would be interesting. And yeah, I mean, I personally think when I was seeing the Real Madrid game, the first half, I couldn't actually feel that there was an existing midfield or a pattern of midfield to us, and that was not so good to watch. So I would also expect the midfield to be a more assertive, more dominant, control a game a little bit better. I know it comes from it takes time, but uh, against Real Madrid, I didn't like the midfield acceptance of Hernandez. So that needs to be improved, and I hope that improves. Nothing else really. Jackson, look, it's more like what you can expect out of Jackson. There is a ceiling to him. He has already shown that. There is nothing I mean, I hope so. He has something we have not seen yet. I'm not ruling him off. But the unfortunate reality to it is there is a ceiling to those kind of players. And there is nothing else he's gonna come up and just uh, pull us out of our seats and, oh wow, Jackson, what have you done, kind of a reaction. So I'm not really excited about Jackson. I just want him to not miss sitters for starters, which he has done last season. So I hope just he has worked on his shooting and his shot accuracy. Nothing else really. I mean, what else? I'm really excited to see how Pedro Neto is, but I'm 99% sure he's not gonna play. He's not getting any minutes tomorrow, but it would be interesting to watch him being announced if it can happen. I don't know that. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's moreover. Uh, at the end, I'm like, just win this game because I don't want to get to facing Man City on 18th. Uh, with this precedent of not beating Inter Milan, so we should like end on a high. It's what all I want.
Yeah, indeed. I think with Palmer, especially, I think the good thing is obviously I don't like to call it this, but in this case, I'll take the advantage of calling it with it being a diet Pep system. Effectively, Palmer's played in the Pep system before, so I'm
Yeah,
hoping that this is almost again an advantage because he kind of knows some of the ropes already and probably will fit in better than others. And again, like Dewsbury Hall, it's someone else in the squad that can help other people learn the system. And that's what sometimes you
yeah.
need. I said it earlier in the stream, it's your Jorginho for Sarri. So your Palmer and Dewsbury Hall are almost doing this for Maresca and helping out. Also, to a point, Sterling as well. But Sterling, I just think, has gone off the boil. And yeah, it is what it is with Sterling.
No, but this is a good point because sometimes people just don't understand how important it is to have players who are already uh, you know those who already understand the system, as you have clearly mentioned. And when these three guys are there, I'm also excited to watch when you put it like that. Kevin Dewsbury Hall, Romeo Lavia, and Cole Palmer play together. That cam, that right wing, and that midfield pairing up, because all these three guys have been very closely associated with this whole Diet Pep system and Enzo Maresca system. So it would be great to watch if these three guys can create a magical, quick flowing football and possession football. And all three guys have, I mean, definite skill. We have seen what KDH can do. He hit that cross from the deep end for Guyu, and he hit a header. So it's nice. I just want to see a good striker coming in at the end of this window. I am rooting for Osimhen because I don't see any other striker that can actually solve our problems. But even if that doesn't happen, I'll survive with Samu uh, and Jackson and Gui and three, four other names that I don't remember now. I just want a striker who can bang headers into the net, who can score from a set piece, who can just score it who can just throw his body to the ball when it comes to scoring, who is instinctive and doesn't miss sitters. So, I mean,
Well,
everyone misses sitter. People in chat would
yeah,
comment, Haaland misses sitters. But yeah, I mean, you understanding me, right? Because
yeah,
to me, I don't feel that our defense line is gonna, you know, turn out to be magical in space of few games. This problem will, fade away naturally and eventually, as you and Roger said in the live stream. It will take time for the defense to set up and to mature. So until then, we need to score. We cannot have six chances or seven chances created and scoring just one goals or no goals, because in that case, you are definitely losing games. And we have done that for the past two seasons. So if we do that again, this there is no improvement going on.
definitely.
So your wingers, Pedro Neto, KDH, whoever gonna play in wing, and Kunku, all these guys can put in a lot of crosses all around. But if there is nothing, no target meant to score that crosses, no pressing forward, no target forward, whatever role you want to play your striker as, there is gonna be no eventual result to it, and we'll be sitting near mid-table positions again and again. So that's kind of a problem. But let's see. I hope we don't encounter that again.
Yeah, I mean, talking about kind of strikers, obviously, Tottenham spending 65 million on Dominic
Yeah,
Solanke.
yeah.
For me, that's Dominic
Crazy.
Solanke, he had a good season last season, but he hasn't replicated that season
Yeah.
at all. Any other
Yeah.
time in the season. And going for 65, like people talking about the Osimhen deal, that makes the Osimhen deal look worth it.
But brother, do you think that Julian Alvarez is worth 95 millions?
No,
Whatever the price is.
this is where I'm saying, like, some of these
This
deals
is
that
why
we're
I'm saying
seeing,
that striker market is inflated.
it's
Look at
I mean,
Osimhen. They are not coming down of that 110, 105 million evaluation.
no, yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. But one question before we go, from Oski Boy, thoughts on Petrovic being loaned out potentially? I think the loan could be to Strasbourg. Apparently,
Salzburg, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, see, it's if I was Petrovic, I would be screaming, "What is my mistake? You signed me, right? When you signed Sanchez and he was not working, you signed me because Poch was like, okay, I need a goalkeeper. Sanchez is not working. I came in, I slotted in, I saved penalties, and I did all what I can do. Had a fairly decent debut season coming from MLS, I guess, if I'm not wrong, directly to the Premier League. And then I am at the very next moment because of a managerial change, I'm out of the club. So I just feel that it's unfortunate for that guy. He deserves a lot more for his contributions, and he has that goalkeeper instinct, right? Because I can tell you, brother, when I don't know about you if you have felt the same, but with Kepa, it was a different emotion when the ball was hurling towards that 6 yard box, right? Or when the crosses were coming in. With Sanchez, it's a very different, chaotic emotion, your heart pulping out. Oh, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. With Petrovic, there was a sense of calmness that I hadn't experienced in the past 2, 3, goalkeeping appointments at Chelsea. So whenever crosses came, that guy was there, and there was a sense of calm. I don't know how many people actually observe it, but I felt it. So there is always that soft corner of Petrovic, but well, we cannot blame anything anywhere. Manager changes happen, and this manager wants a ball playing goalkeeper, massively inclined on distribution. Can't help it. I mean, he's gone. But caution, warning: Sanchez should be loaned out, sent out for a permanent. He is not the goalkeeper we should go with. I don't know Enzo Maresca why he's not seeing that Sanchez is not the keeper we should go forward with.
Yeah,
Do
I mean,
whatever you want.
I wonder. I was looking at this and thinking about this today. I've always thought like the idea, like, well, because obviously at first it was touted that Petrovic should be sold, and I wondered whether it was they can't find a good suitable person to sign Sanchez, and they can with Petrovic. And in football, it happens sometimes. The slightly better person gets sold because the crap person can't be sold.
Yeah.
And for me, I do look at Petrovic. I think Petrovic is a good goalkeeper, but if Jorgensen turns out to be very good, it's not something that if Jorgensen's first choice and Sanchez is just sitting in second choice, and Petrovic has to go as a sacrifice, it's not something that I'm going to lose sleep over. Now it's a loan. I wonder whether it's a thing of they'll see how Jorgensen does first season. Petrovic obviously gets some good game time at Strasbourg, where obviously they can control it. It's effectively Chelsea B. They control it, and Petrovic gets good game time. And then I wonder whether they'll see if another year down the line, hopefully they can find a move potentially for Sanchez. Petrovic then comes back and fights with Jorgensen. At that point, maybe that is the solution at the moment. It does.
I mean, depends, right? Because
I mean, that's the thing.
sorry to cut you off. Yeah.
Where it's a loan, it's at least keeping Petrovic in the system effectively, and it means Petrovic is actually going to get, because he's going to be first choice goalkeeper at Strasbourg. He's going to be getting game time every week, so we can see how he develops. Because Petrovic, he's good, but he also made mistakes as well. So he's not the perfect goalkeeper. So actually, it might benefit him going out on loan, him playing consistent game time. Philip Jorgensen, if he gets the first choice slot, getting consistent game time, and then we can see which one's better for next season. But so it might actually turn out to be not as disastrous, because I think as bad as Sanchez is, if he's second choice and playing in the Conference League, I think even Sanchez can do that personally. But
Yeah.
we'll have to wait and see. What we'll do is we'll finish up for today, because it's 2.5 hours that we've been going on, and it's been fantastic, guys. You've 414 of you currently in right now. It's absolutely fantastic for you guys. Make sure you smash the like button before we go, so it boosts this stream out to as many people as possible. Obviously, Tiger Beast, thank you for coming on.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure.
And obviously, Bobby, if you're still listening, thank you for coming on as well. Obviously, Wi-Fi issues always cause problems, but it is what it is. Tomorrow, I don't think I'm basically working in the evening, so unless I stream very early hours of the morning, we probably won't get a stream tomorrow. But Sunday, probably around 9-10 o'clock UK time, we probably will have a stream set up to talk about Inter Milan and anything else that goes on after that. So, guys, make sure you tune in for that, and then I think Kachila is back end of next week, so you'll have me for a little bit longer. Hope it's not too much of a bear or a bore, but you will have Kachila back soon. For Tiger Beast, thank you for coming on, and we'll see you
Up the shirts, brother. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.
Yeah. Once again, people, thank you for coming on. This is Matt hosting Chelsea's Perspective. I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful sleep, depending on where you are. And we'll see you for another stream on Chelsea's Perspective.